and you allow him to impute to you the righteousness of the second Adam. That's how you get saved. You believe in the second Adam, and Yahweh clothes you. He said, put on Yeshua HaMashiach and make no provision for the lust of the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. Put on Yeshua. How do you put on Yeshua? First in your heart, and then Yahweh puts him on you symbolically and metaphorically by his blood. Are we on? Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Look at verse 21. Romans 5:21. So as sin has reigned to death of all mankind, even so unmerited favor might reign through tzedakah, Yeshua's tzedakah, to eternal chayim by building hospitals. No. By building yeshivas. No. By dumping on the church and causing everyone to hate you so they don't listen to you. No. The Torah didn't... listen, can we talk? Well, I'll talk, you listen. The Torah is not responsible for making us sin. Adam and Eve are. So there has to be a recreation of the race, and it starts with Adam, and you and I are the heirs of that recreation. And so we need the second Adam, Yeshua, to receive eternal righteousness and eternal just righteous standing before Yahweh. But we need Abraham so we don't miss the pattern and become condemning and judgmental against our brothers and sisters, even those brothers and sisters that are in the church.
Amen.
If we follow the Abrahamic pattern, we will not deviate.
Amen.
We need Yeshua to live forever, but we need Abraham to show us how to walk out the Torah. So then, understanding our church brethren, part 2. Understanding our church brethren. How should we see our church brethren? How do we really understand them? Am I in there any signals yet? No? Okay. How do we understand our church brethren? As a Kehillah full of Abraham. Is that too heavy for you? Not a Kehillah full of Schneersons, not a Kehillah full of Rabbi Cooks, not a Kehillah full of Pharisees, Sadducees, Essenes, and all the others. You're a Kehillah full of Abrahams, waiting for a more perfect knowledge, waiting for a more perfect revelation, waiting for you to live the Torah and show them the way to walk before Yahweh. Abraham is the pattern. Then you pattern Abraham, and then they pattern you. Didn't Rav Shaul say the same thing? He says, you follow me as I follow you. Simple, right? Yeah, that's it. Simple. Amen. Is anyone enjoying?
Amen. Amen.
I'll try that again. Is anyone thrilled?
Yes. Amen.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I'll walk the trust of Abraham. So then, how should we understand our church brother? We understand that they are justified by grace through faith apart from the works of the Torah. Even though they're guilty of the sins of commission, they read the Shabbat, they don't do it. They read about kasher, they don't do it. They read about moadim, they refuse to do it. They read about wearing tzitzit and head coverings, and they refuse to do it. They refuse to do it. We, on the other hand, refuse to do Matthew 25. Now, this is sobering. I have a little extra time. I didn't plan on this. I want to take you to those of us like us who love the Torah, but when it comes time to helping other people in our midst, we send them to the church. Why? Because we know we do nothing. We're more interested in discussions, internet chat rooms on Torah topics than doing anything tangible. So what's the result of that? Go to Matthew 25. I have a little time. Look at Matthew 25. This is serious stuff. Watch this. Watch this. Now I believe Yeshua was talking to the Torah keepers. Was he talking to the Judeans of the first century, the Yehudim? Hello?
Yes.
Was he talking to the Yehudim of the first century? Yes, he was.
Yes.
And what was he saying? Was he talking to the Catholics? No. Was he talking to the Protestants? No. Was he talking to the Yehudim of the first century? Yes, he was. Now watch what he said. He says, To those on the right hand, come blessed of my Father, and inherit the malchut. I was hungry, you gave me food. I was thirsty, you gave me drink. Verse 35. Matijahu 25:35. I was a stranger, you took me in. This is what the church does. They minister to strangers, they give drink to the thirsty, they feed the hungry, naked and you clothed me, sick you visited me, in prison you came to me. Notice. Then the tzaddikim will answer him saying, Master, when did we see you hungry and fed you, or thirsty and gave you drink? When did we see you as a stranger and took you in, or naked and clothed you? When did we see you sick or in prison and visit you? Verse 40. And the Melech will answer and say to them, Truly I say to you, whenever you have done it to the least of these, my Israelite brothers, you have done it to me. Then he shall say to them on the left hand, notice, depart from me, you curse. I don't want you to miss this now, because this should shake up a lot of Messianic, Jewish, and Nazarene, what do they call those councils, those committees? Executive committees, steering committees. Well, I'm on the steering committee, and I'm steering everybody into Torah. Okay, that must mean you study, you do, and live the Torah, and build hospitals and hospice and drug recovery centers and orphanages and boarding schools. If you know the Torah and you're doing the Torah and living the Torah, you must be building boarding school. Boarding school. I'll write you a $10,000 check if you could find a boarding school for boys or girls that our movement has built. We have yet to build our first yeshiva to train rabbis, so we do everything correspondence by CDs and tapes, because we don't do nothing. We're too busy smelling their smell and we're not smelling our own. Now, unless you take this stuff lightly, look at verse 41. Then Yeshua will say to them on the left hand, Depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for Satan and his shadim. For verse 42, I was hungry, you gave me no food. I was thirsty, you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, you took me not in. I was naked, you clothed me not. I was sick and in prison, you visited me not. Then the steering committee and the executive committee will say, ho, 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 ho. What are you talking about? We make candles, we make wine, we drink wine, we make tzitzit. I want a tzitzit from Arizona. Watch what Yeshua will say. Then they will answer him saying, Master, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or stranger, naked, sick or in prison, and did not attend to you? Then he will answer them saying, Truly, truly I say, insofar you did it not one to the least of these, you did it not to me. And now you can say, yeah, he's talking about brothers and sisters. Okay, when was the last hospital we built for our brothers and sisters? Well, he's not talking about the world, Rabbi. He's talking about how we behave amongst ourselves. Okay, when was the last free medical clinic we set up in the inner city so we can preach Yeshua within the context of the Torah and minister to those who have no money in the ghetto, in the inner city? Show it to me. I'll be there and I'll bring people there. It doesn't exist. Why? Because we are studying the Torah. We're coming out of the church. And we're so busy studying how to come out of the church that we're ignoring the Torah. Faith without works is dead. And the purpose of knowing the Torah is not to teach you how to be a Santerias and take a bull and a goat and do blood sacrifices in your backyard. It is so you'll get off your blessed assurance and do what the church does, who doesn't know the Torah and disobeys the Torah. We who know the Torah do nothing. Yahweh's work done Yahweh's way never lacks Yahweh's provision. We can only come to one conclusion. It is his work, but it's not being done his way, and it's not being done according to his way. It is his work, but it's not being done his way. That's why I lack provision. I've had rabbis excuse their behavior. That's why I quit the union. People want to know why I quit the union. I was tired of everybody doing nothing. And I set up the Chaim Yeshua Human Resource Center, which today has 40, 50 people, of free caregivers, from chiropractors to doctors to lawyers, who give their services free. And we're trying to network people because I don't have the money to build. We're trying to network people to give tangible help. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Verse 45. Then he will answer them saying, Truly I say to you, insofar as you did it not to one of the least of these,